Aging is one of life's most profound mysteries, a journey that begins the moment we take our first breath. While we often associate aging with gray hair, wrinkles, and slower steps, its roots go much deeper. It is not just about what we see in the mirror, it is a complex process written into our very biology, woven into every cell and organ. For centuries, people have sought the secret to eternal youth, yet science reminds us that aging is as natural as the sunrise. Throughout history, cultures around the world have looked at aging in different ways. Some see it as a blessing, a passage into wisdom and respect, while others view it with fear, associating it with weakness and decline. The truth lies somewhere in between. Aging is both a biological process and a human experience. Understanding its mystery means looking at the science behind our bodies and also reflecting on the meaning it brings to our lives. Scientists have long asked why we age. Some theories suggest it's simply the result of wear and tear, that our bodies, like machines, eventually break down after decades of use. Others point to genetics, noting that our DNA carries built-in instructions that guide how quickly or slowly we change over time. No matter which theory holds the most truth, it's clear that aging is universal. It unites us all, no matter our background, culture, or status. At the cellular level, aging begins silently. Our cells divide and renew, but with every cycle they lose just a little of their ability to repair. Microscopic changes in our DNA accumulate like small cracks in a foundation. Over decades, these small shifts build up and eventually appear as visible signs: thinner skin, slower reflexes, and changes in energy. What feels sudden is actually the result of years of quiet transformation inside us. But aging is not only about decline, it is also about adaptation. Our bodies and minds learn to adjust, to find new rhythms as time passes. We may not run as fast as we once did, but perhaps we walk with more purpose. We may not hear as sharply, yet we listen more deeply. The mystery of aging is not just about loss but also about what we gain in perspective, patience, and resilience. There's also an emotional side to the mystery. Why is it that as our bodies grow weaker, many of us feel stronger in spirit? The answer may lie in the experiences we carry. With age comes memory, a collection of joys and struggles that shape us into who we are. These experiences give meaning to the physical changes, reminding us that every wrinkle, every gray strand of hair, is evidence of a life lived fully. Culturally, aging is often painted as something to resist. Advertisements shout about anti-aging products and miracle cures. Yet, the deeper mystery is not how to stop aging but how to embrace it. Science can explain the biological process, but it cannot capture the beauty of acceptance, of choosing to live gracefully in each stage of life. Another layer of the mystery is time itself. When we are young, time feels endless, like an open road with no horizon in sight. But as we age, time becomes more precious. Days feel shorter, yet moments become more meaningful. Aging teaches us that it's not about the number of years we live but about how much life we can find in those years. The mystery of aging also brings us face to face with mortality, something most of us prefer not to think about. Yet this awareness can be powerful. Knowing that time is finite encourages us to cherish relationships, pursue passions, and leave behind legacies of kindness and wisdom. In this way, aging is not just a process of decline but a reminder to live with greater intention. In the end, the true mystery of aging lies in its dual nature. On one side, it is science, cells, DNA, and biology unfolding over decades. On the other, it is deeply human, a journey of reflection, growth, and meaning. To uncover this mystery is not to solve it, but to honor it. Aging is not something to fear. It is the story of life itself, written across the years, one chapter at a time. Inside every one of us, billions of cells are constantly working, repairing, and renewing. These cells are the smallest units of life, and they carry the instructions that keep our bodies alive. When we are young, this process of renewal is fast and efficient. Scrapes heal quickly, energy feels endless, and our bodies seem almost unbreakable. But as the years pass, something subtle begins to shift inside each cell, and this is where the story of aging truly begins. One of the key players in this process is the telomere. Telomeres are like the plastic tips on shoelaces, protecting the ends of our DNA strands from unraveling. Every time a cell divides, these telomeres become a little shorter. Eventually, they wear down so much that the cell can no longer divide safely. This built-in countdown clock means that over time, our bodies slowly lose their ability to regenerate as quickly as before. This shortening of telomeres doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds quietly across decades, shaping how our tissues and organs function. When we're young, telomeres are long and strong, allowing our skin to renew smoothly and our muscles to recover quickly after activity. As they shorten, however, we begin to notice slower healing, more stiffness, and signs of wear and tear that don't bounce back like they once did. Beyond telomeres, another change occurs inside our cells: damage from free radicals. These are unstable molecules that build up as byproducts of metabolism and from exposure to things like pollution, smoking, or even too much sun. Free radicals can harm DNA and proteins, weakening the cell's ability to function. Over the years, this damage accumulates, creating small cracks in the body's foundation that slowly add up. Yet, it's important to remember that our cells are not helpless. The body has its own repair systems, constantly scanning for damage and working to fix it. Antioxidants from healthy foods like fruits and vegetables support this process, protecting our cells from harm. Lifestyle choices, such as regular exercise, good sleep, and balanced nutrition, play a huge role in slowing down cellular aging and keeping us healthier for longer. As cells change, tissues and organs begin to follow. For instance, when muscle cells can no longer regenerate as quickly, we lose muscle mass, a process known as sarcopenia. When bone cells slow down in renewal, bones become thinner and more fragile, leading to osteoporosis. Even the immune system feels the effects, with immune cells becoming less effective, leaving us more vulnerable to illness. What makes these cellular changes so fascinating is that they don't just cause decline, they also explain the unique individuality of aging. Some people age quickly, showing early signs of frailty, while others remain strong and active well into their 80s or 90s. Genetics certainly play a role, but so do decades of habits, environments, and even attitudes toward life. In many ways, aging is as personal as a fingerprint. Science is now studying ways to slow these cellular changes. Research into telomere preservation, stem cell therapy, and even genetic editing holds exciting possibilities for the future. While we may never completely stop aging, we may learn to extend health span, the number of years we live free of serious disease. This, perhaps, is the new frontier of the science of aging. On a personal level, knowing what happens inside our cells helps us make sense of what we see in the mirror. The wrinkles, the slower steps, the gray hairs, they are not failures of our bodies, but reflections of the extraordinary work our cells have been doing day after day, year after year. It is nothing short of miraculous that they carry us so far, and with the right care, they can continue to serve us well into later life. In the end, cellular changes remind us that aging is both fragile and powerful. Fragile because our cells do wear down, but powerful because we have the ability to influence the pace of that wear through our choices. By respecting our bodies, nurturing our health, and embracing science's discoveries, we honor the small miracles happening within us every single day. Our skin is the most visible canvas of aging, the outer layer that tells the silent story of time. When we are young, skin is plump, smooth, and resilient, thanks to abundant collagen and elastin fibers. These proteins act like scaffolding and springs, keeping the skin firm and elastic. But as the years pass, the production of collagen slows and elastin loses its strength. What was once tight and supple begins to sag and wrinkle, revealing the gentle march of age. One of the earliest changes we notice is dryness. Younger skin retains moisture effortlessly, but as oil glands become less active, the skin gradually loses hydration. This dryness can make the skin feel tight, itchy, or more fragile than before. Small cracks may appear and the glow of youth begins to fade. Yet these changes are not just cosmetic, they reflect real biological shifts happening underneath the surface. Sun exposure plays one of the biggest roles in how our skin ages. Ultraviolet rays break down collagen, accelerate wrinkles, and cause dark spots known as age spots or liver spots. While sunscreen and protective clothing can slow this process, most of us carry the marks of sun-filled days from our youth. Afternoons at the beach, afternoons in the garden, or long walks without a hat. Each freckle and spot is a memory etched into the skin. Wrinkles, too, have their own story. They first appear as fine lines around the eyes and mouth, places where expressions are most animated. Over time, they deepen, creating permanent folds that reflect decades of laughter, frowns, and wonder. In this way, wrinkles are not simply signs of decline but evidence of a life richly lived. Every crease is a reminder of emotions felt and experiences remembered. Another noticeable change is thinning skin. As the fat layer beneath the skin diminishes, the face loses some of its youthful fullness, and veins may appear more visible. Cuts and bruises also take longer to heal. This fragility can sometimes feel discouraging, but it also calls us to care for ourselves with greater gentleness, choosing soft fabrics, protective moisturizers, and patience with our own bodies. Hair, too, is part of this outward transformation. The loss of pigment leads to gray or white strands, while hair may become finer or thinner with time. For many, this change feels symbolic, a visible marker of aging. Yet, cultures across the world have long associated gray hair with wisdom and dignity. In many traditions, a head of silver is seen not as loss, but as a crown earned through years of living. Though these physical changes are natural, our culture often emphasizes youth as the ideal. Advertisements promise creams, injections, and procedures to erase the signs of time. But perhaps the true challenge is not to erase these marks, but to reframe how we see them. Aging skin is not flawed skin, it is a record of resilience, a tapestry that carries the story of every season we have weathered. Science also offers hope in understanding skin aging. We now know that hydration, nutrition, and sun protection can slow the process. Diets rich in antioxidants, regular exercise, and good sleep support healthier skin from the inside out. Simple rituals like applying moisturizer daily or drinking enough water may not stop wrinkles, but they help the skin age with grace and vitality. On a deeper level, skin connects us to the world. It is through skin that we feel a child's hug, a cool breeze, or the warmth of the sun. Even as it changes, skin remains a powerful organ of connection, allowing us to experience life's moments fully. Its appearance may shift, but its role as a bridge between us and the world never fades. Ultimately, the aging of skin is both scientific and symbolic. Scientifically, it is the slowing of collagen and the effects of sun and time. Symbolically, it is a visible reminder that we have lived, felt, and endured. To see beauty in aging skin is to see beauty in life itself. A life marked not by perfection but by authenticity, resilience, and the grace of time well spent. Our muscles and bones form the framework that carries us through life. In youth, they are strong, resilient, and quick to recover. Running, climbing stairs, or lifting heavy objects feels effortless. But as we age, subtle changes begin to unfold, gradually altering the way we move and the strength we once took for granted. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It is the quiet result of decades of cellular and structural shifts within the body. One of the most significant changes is the loss of muscle mass, a process known as sarcopenia. Beginning as early as our 30s, the body slowly loses lean muscle at a rate of about 3 to 5% per decade if we do not stay active. By the time we reach our 70s or 80s, this can amount to a dramatic decline, affecting balance, posture, and overall mobility. Tasks that once felt easy, like standing up from a chair or carrying groceries, may feel more challenging. Alongside muscle, bone density also decreases with age. Bones are living tissue, constantly breaking down and rebuilding. But as the years pass, the rebuilding process slows. This leads to thinner, more fragile bones, a condition known as osteoporosis. For many older adults, this fragility increases the risk of fractures, particularly in the hips, wrists, and spine. A single fall can become a turning point in later life, making bone health a critical aspect of aging gracefully. Hormonal changes play a major role in these shifts. In women, the decline of estrogen after menopause accelerates bone loss. In men, reduced testosterone contributes to muscle weakness and bone thinning. These natural hormonal changes are part of the aging process, but they explain why maintaining strength and flexibility requires more intentional effort as the decades pass. The good news is that we are not powerless against these changes. Research shows that regular physical activity, especially weight-bearing exercises like walking, resistance training, or even light weightlifting, can significantly slow the loss of muscle and bone. Movement not only preserves strength but also stimulates the body to continue rebuilding, reminding ourselves that they are still needed. Nutrition is equally important. Calcium and vitamin D support bone health, while adequate protein intake helps preserve muscle mass. For many older adults, small adjustments in diet, like adding more leafy greens, dairy, fish, or legumes, can make a meaningful difference over time. Hydration, too, supports joints and connective tissues, keeping movement smoother and less painful. Beyond the physical, the changes in muscles and bones can carry emotional weight. Losing strength may affect confidence, independence, or even identity. A person who once prided themselves on being active may struggle with the idea of slowing down. Yet, these challenges can also become opportunities for adaptation. Discovering new forms of exercise, embracing slower but mindful movement, or seeking support through physical therapy and community activities. It's also worth noting that not all aspects of muscle and bone aging are negative. Many older adults report becoming more in tune with their bodies, listening carefully to signals of fatigue, pain, or tension. This mindfulness can foster a deeper respect for the body's abilities, shifting the focus from what has been lost to what remains possible. Strength may look different at 70 than it did at 30, but it is strength nonetheless. Technology and medicine continue to advance in supporting bone and muscle health. Treatments for osteoporosis, joint replacements, and innovative therapies offer hope for maintaining mobility even in advanced age. Paired with lifestyle choices, these tools ensure that many people remain active, vibrant, and engaged in life far longer than past generations could have imagined. Ultimately, muscles and bones remind us of the importance of movement and care throughout our lives. They carry the weight of our experiences, literally supporting every step of our journey. While they may weaken with age, they also teach us resilience, adaptability, and gratitude for the gift of motion. To honor our muscles and bones is to honor the body's remarkable ability to carry us through the seasons of life. The brain is perhaps the most fascinating organ to consider when we think about aging. It is the command center of our bodies, responsible for memory, movement, emotions, and identity itself. From childhood through adulthood, the brain is constantly learning, adapting, and reshaping its connections. But as we grow older, it too begins to show the marks of time, in ways both subtle and profound. One of the earliest changes many people notice is a slower processing speed. Tasks that once seemed effortless, like recalling a name or quickly solving a problem, may take a bit longer. This doesn't mean the brain has lost its intelligence. It simply reflects that the wiring takes more time to fire. It's like moving from a fast highway to a scenic back road. The destination is still reached, but the pace is gentler. Memory is another area where aging reveals itself. Short-term memory, such as remembering where we put our glasses or what we had for lunch, tends to weaken first. Long-term memory, however, often remains strong, allowing older adults to vividly recall events from decades ago. This contrast can be both amusing and frustrating, forgetting a recent detail while recalling with clarity the music of youth or the face of an old friend. Biologically, the brain's changes are tied to the loss of neurons and the shrinking of certain brain regions, especially those responsible for memory and executive function. Blood flow to the brain may also decrease with age, reducing the delivery of oxygen and nutrients. These changes can contribute to occasional forgetfulness, difficulty multitasking, or challenges in learning new skills. But it is not all decline, far from it. The aging brain also shows remarkable resilience, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. This means the brain can still form new connections, adapt, and even grow new neurons in certain areas. Studies have shown that older adults who continue to learn, stay socially engaged, and challenge themselves mentally often maintain sharper cognitive function well into advanced age. Emotions, too, are shaped differently by the aging brain. Many older adults report feeling more stable, less reactive, and better able to regulate their moods than in their younger years. This emotional wisdom is thought to arise from changes in the brain's limbic system and from a lifetime of experiences that teach patience, perspective, and resilience. Of course, some face more serious challenges such as dementia or Alzheimer's disease, where memory loss and confusion become severe. These conditions can be heartbreaking, affecting not only the individual but also their loved ones. Yet, even in the presence of such illnesses, moments of joy, connection, and recognition still shine through, reminding us of the enduring humanity within every brain. Lifestyle plays a powerful role in brain health. Regular exercise improves blood flow to the brain, while a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and whole food supports neural function. Sleep, too, becomes critical, allowing the brain to clear out toxins and restore itself. Just as muscles and bones respond to care, the brain thrives when nurtured with healthy habits. Engaging the brain with new challenges is equally important. Learning a language, playing an instrument, doing puzzles, or even socializing with friends stimulates neural networks. These activities don't just pass the time. They strengthen the brain's ability to adapt and resist decline. Curiosity, it seems, is one of the best medicines for the mind. In the grand story of aging, the brain reminds us that wisdom and perspective grow even as speed and memory shift. It is not just about retaining information but about understanding life more deeply. The aging brain may not be as quick as it once was, but it holds something far greater: the accumulated knowledge of a lifetime, the patience of years, and the grace of seeing the bigger picture. The heart is a tireless worker, beating more than 100,000 times a day, pumping blood through nearly 60,000 miles of vessels that nourish every cell in the body. For most of our lives, this system runs so smoothly we hardly give it a thought. But as we age, the heart and circulation begin to change, sometimes subtly and sometimes dramatically, shaping how we feel and how well our bodies function. One of the most common age-related changes is the stiffening of arteries. When we are young, blood vessels are flexible, expanding and contracting easily as the heart pumps. Over time, however, walls of the arteries thicken and lose elasticity. This makes it harder for the heart to push blood through, leading to higher blood pressure and increased strain on the cardiovascular system. The heart muscle itself can also change. With age, it may become slightly thicker, particularly in the left ventricle, the chamber responsible for pumping oxygen-rich blood to the body. While this adaptation may initially help the heart work harder, it can eventually reduce efficiency, making it more difficult to pump as effectively as before. Fatigue, shortness of breath, or slower recovery after exertion often result. Another shift is the buildup of plaque in the arteries, a process known as atherosclerosis. Decades of diet, lifestyle, and genetics contribute to this narrowing of blood vessels. Plaque restricts blood flow and raises the risk of heart attack or stroke. For many older adults, this becomes one of the most significant health challenges of later life. Yet, it's important to remember that not all changes are inevitable. Lifestyle choices play an enormous role in heart and circulation health. Regular physical activity, something as simple as brisk walking, helps keep arteries flexible and blood flowing smoothly. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats supports cardiovascular strength, while reducing salt and processed foods can keep blood pressure under control. Stress management is another crucial factor. Chronic stress raises levels of hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which can strain the heart over time. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, prayer, or even spending time in nature can calm the nervous system and ease the load on the cardiovascular system. In this way, caring for the heart involves both body and spirit. The circulatory system doesn't just affect physical health, it also influences the brain and emotional well-being. Reduced blood flow can contribute to cognitive decline or memory problems, highlighting how deeply connected the heart and mind truly are. When the heart is strong, the brain and body often follow, reinforcing the importance of cardiovascular care at every stage of life. Medical advances have given us new tools to protect heart health. Medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, and clot prevention, as well as procedures like stents or bypass surgeries, can dramatically improve quality of life and extend lifespan. Paired with lifestyle changes, these treatments offer hope and resilience for many older adults facing cardiovascular challenges. It's also worth noting that the heart has a symbolic role beyond its physical one. Across cultures, the heart is seen as the seat of love, courage, and compassion. As it changes with age, we often reflect not only on its physical strength but also on the emotional experiences it has carried, the loves we've cherished, the losses we've endured, and the joys that still make it beat faster. In the end, the aging of the heart and circulation is a reminder of both our vulnerability and our vitality. While arteries may stiffen and the heart may tire, it continues to beat faithfully, carrying us forward. By respecting it with care, movement, and kindness, we honor the heart not just as an organ, but as the enduring rhythm of our lives. Hormones are the body's messengers, carrying signals that regulate energy, mood, metabolism, growth, and countless other functions. When we are young, these signals flow smoothly, keeping our bodies in balance. But as the years pass, hormone production naturally shifts, and with those changes come some of the most noticeable effects of aging. For women, one of the most significant milestones is menopause, usually occurring between the late 40s and early 50s. As estrogen and progesterone levels decline, the body undergoes profound changes. Hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, and changes in bone density often appear during this stage. While sometimes challenging, menopause is also a natural transition, marking the end of the reproductive years and the beginning of a new chapter in life. Men, too, experience hormonal changes, though often more gradual. Testosterone levels slowly decline with age, leading to reduced muscle mass, lower energy, changes in libido, and sometimes a sense of decreased vitality. While these shifts may not be as dramatic as menopause, they still shape how men feel and function as they age. Beyond sex hormones, other hormones also change. Growth hormone, which helps maintain muscle and bone, declines with age. Insulin sensitivity may decrease, making it harder to manage blood sugar levels. Even melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, is produced in smaller amounts, which helps explain why many older adults struggle with restless nights or lighter sleep. These hormonal shifts don't affect everyone in the same way. Some people experience dramatic symptoms while others barely notice. Genetics, lifestyle, and overall health all influence how strongly we feel the effects. For some, the changes can be disorienting, while for others they may bring relief. For instance, freedom from monthly cycles or the anxieties of earlier years. Science offers a variety of ways to support the body through these transitions. Hormone replacement therapy (HRT) can ease the symptoms of menopause for women, while lifestyle changes like strength training, balanced diet, and stress reduction help men cope with lower testosterone. Still, these treatments must be carefully considered with medical guidance, as they carry risks alongside benefits. Emotionally, hormonal changes can feel like a loss of control. Mood swings, fatigue, or changes in body composition may cause frustration. Yet, many older adults also report a sense of liberation, an acceptance of the body's natural rhythms, and a deeper appreciation of life beyond physical appearance or performance. This emotional growth often balances the physical challenges. Interestingly, some hormonal changes may even encourage positive shifts. Lower levels of certain hormones can slow down impulsive behaviors, allowing for more patience and reflection. Many older adults report feeling calmer, more centered, and less driven by the stresses that once consumed them. In this way, hormonal shifts, though often seen as obstacles, can also open doors to emotional maturity and balance. Support from community and family can make a big difference during these transitions. Sharing experiences, whether in support groups, with friends, or across generations, helps normalize the changes. Knowing that these shifts are part of the human journey brings comfort and strengthens bonds, reminding us we are not alone in navigating them. Ultimately, hormonal shifts are not just biological. They are symbolic markers of life stages. They remind us that we are constantly evolving, that each decade brings its own challenges and gifts. By embracing these changes with knowledge, care, and compassion, we can view them not as endings, but as gateways to new phases of growth and self-discovery. One of the most beautiful aspects of aging is that while the body may slow down, the heart and spirit often grow stronger. Emotional and spiritual growth is a gift of later life, shaped not by physical strength but by the accumulation of wisdom, resilience, and perspective. With age, many people discover that their deepest growth doesn't come from material achievements, but from the richness of inner life. Emotionally, aging often brings greater stability. The storms of youth, ambition, jealousy, insecurity begin to quiet as priorities shift. Older adults often report feeling less concerned with what others think and more focused on living authentically. This freedom allows for deeper connections, more forgiveness, and a sense of peace that can only come from decades of experience. Spiritual growth, too, tends to flourish with time. Whether rooted in faith, meditation, or a broader sense of connection to the universe, many find that aging opens the heart to bigger questions. Why are we here? What truly matters? What kind of legacy will we leave? These reflections can transform the later years into a period not of decline, but of profound awakening. Loss often plays a role in this growth. With age comes the passing of loved ones, the fading of old roles, and the recognition that time is finite. Though painful, these experiences deepen our capacity for empathy and compassion. Grief can soften us, making us more attuned to the struggles of others and more grateful for the love that remains. Emotional maturity also means learning to let go of grudges, regrets, and fears that once held us back. Many older adults describe a lightness that comes from no longer carrying unnecessary burdens. Life becomes less about striving and more about savoring. Small joys like a child's laughter, a walk in the park, or a shared meal take on greater meaning. Community and relationships are central to emotional and spiritual growth. As the years pass, people often realize that true wealth lies not in possessions but in connections, with family, friends, neighbors, or spiritual communities. These bonds provide strength and comfort, reinforcing the idea that we are never meant to walk through life alone. Spirituality in later life doesn't always mean religion. For some, it emerges in quiet moments of reflection, in art, in music, or in the awe of nature. A sunrise, a bird's song, or the rhythm of the ocean can all evoke a sense of wonder that reminds us of our place in something larger than ourselves. This sense of connection nourishes the soul, even as the body changes. There's also a unique courage that comes with spiritual growth and aging. Facing mortality head-on can be frightening, but it also brings clarity. Many older adults find themselves living with greater intention, no longer postponing dreams or withholding affection. They begin to say what they mean, love more openly, and focus on what truly matters. Even in frailty, emotional and spiritual growth can shine brightly. A kind word, a shared story, or a gentle smile carries immeasurable weight when given from the heart. These small acts of love and wisdom often become the most powerful legacy one can leave behind, echoing long after physical strength has faded. In the end, Emotional and spiritual growth in aging is about finding meaning and purpose beyond the body. It is about discovering that while time may shape our faces and slow our steps, it also polishes the soul, leaving behind clarity, compassion, and grace. Aging, in this light, is not just a physical process but a spiritual journey toward wholeness. As we age, the daily decisions we make about how we live carry more weight than ever before. While genetics and biology set the stage for aging, lifestyle choices often determine how gracefully we walk that path. The way we eat, move, rest, and connect with others can either slow the decline of aging or accelerate it, making these choices some of the most powerful tools for healthy longevity. Nutrition is at the heart of aging well. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains provides the nutrients our bodies need to repair and function efficiently. Processed foods, sugar, and excess salt, on the other hand, can fuel inflammation and chronic disease. Many older adults discover that eating smaller, nutrient-dense meals not only improves physical health but also supports mental clarity and emotional stability. Exercise, too, is a cornerstone of healthy aging. It doesn't have to mean running marathons or lifting heavy weights. Simple, consistent movement like walking, stretching, or light strength training can protect bones, preserve muscle, and keep joints flexible. Beyond physical benefits, regular activity also boosts mood, reduces stress, and helps maintain independence, which is often a key goal in later years. Sleep becomes increasingly vital with age, yet many older adults struggle to get quality rest. Lifestyle choices such as creating a calm bedtime routine, limiting caffeine, and keeping a regular sleep schedule can make a significant difference. Sleep isn't just about energy. It's when the body repairs itself, the brain consolidates memories, and the immune system strengthens. Managing stress is another choice that matters deeply. Chronic stress can accelerate aging, contributing to heart disease, memory problems, and weakened immunity. Practices like meditation, yoga, prayer, or even quiet walks outdoors can bring peace to both body and mind. Choosing calm over chaos becomes not just a preference but a necessity for well-being in later life. Social engagement is often overlooked but just as crucial. Isolation can lead to depression, cognitive decline, and even shortened lifespan. Making the effort to stay connected, through community activities, volunteer work, or regular phone calls with loved ones, nurtures emotional health and creates a safety net of support that grows more valuable with time. Avoiding harmful habits like smoking and excessive drinking is another powerful lifestyle choice. While quitting can be difficult, even making these changes later in life brings enormous benefits. The body has an amazing ability to heal, and choosing to step away from destructive habits often results in better energy, improved circulation, and reduced risk of disease. Lifelong learning also contributes to healthy aging. Keeping the mind active, through reading, puzzles, hobbies, or learning new skills, supports brain plasticity and memory. More than that, it brings joy and purpose, reminding us that growth doesn't stop with age but can continue in exciting ways if we choose to stay curious. Attitude itself is a lifestyle choice. Viewing aging with acceptance rather than fear, seeing challenges as opportunities for adaptation, and focusing on gratitude can transform the experience of growing older. A positive mindset doesn't erase difficulties, but it changes how we respond to them, making the journey lighter and more fulfilling. Ultimately, lifestyle choices are about empowerment. While we cannot control every aspect of aging, we can control how we care for ourselves each day. By making thoughtful choices around food, movement, rest, stress, and connection, we not only add years to life but life to years, ensuring that aging is not just about surviving but about thriving. Genetics plays a powerful role in shaping how we age, influencing everything from how our skin wrinkles to how our organs function over time. The DNA we inherit from our parents acts like a blueprint, laying out possibilities for longevity, disease risk, and even the pace at which our bodies change. While lifestyle choices make a tremendous impact, our genes provide the foundation upon which those choices act. Some families seem blessed with longevity. You may notice lineages where grandparents, parents, and children all live well into their 90s or beyond. This isn't by chance. Certain genetic variations promote longer telomeres, healthier heart function, or resistance to age-related diseases. These inherited traits can give individuals a head start in the journey of aging gracefully. Scientists are learning more each year about the specific genes linked to aging. For instance, research into the APO gene has revealed connections to Alzheimer's disease, while studies of FOXO3 suggest links to longer lifespans. These discoveries are helping researchers unlock the biological secrets of aging, raising hope that medicine might one day intervene at the genetic level. Epigenetics adds another fascinating layer to the story. While we cannot change our genes, we can influence how they are expressed. Factors like stress, diet, sleep, and environmental exposure can switch genes on or off, amplifying or silencing their effects. This means our daily choices interact with our inherited code in ways that shape how aging unfolds in real life. It's also worth noting that genes influence not just the body but the mind. Some people inherit resilience, optimism, or sharper cognitive function, while others may carry vulnerabilities to anxiety or depression. Just as with physical health, awareness of these tendencies can guide healthier choices, such as pursuing therapy, mindfulness, or supportive communities. The exciting part of modern research is the possibility of harnessing genetics to slow aging itself. Advances in gene editing and regenerative medicine may one day allow us to repair damaged DNA, replace faulty cells, or even reset parts of the aging process. While these breakthroughs are still emerging, they represent a frontier that could transform how future generations experience growing old. In the end, genetics provides the script, but we are the actors. The DNA we carry shapes our starting point, but how we live, love, and care for ourselves determines much of the story that unfolds. By understanding our genetic inheritance and making wise choices, we can embrace aging not as something predetermined, but as a journey where we still hold the pen.